That's extremely important to have,
So important.
to have
That's
somebody.
why I chose him so quickly. I wasn't single very long at all, but like he's gentle and sweet. And I'm like, oh my gosh, an older man who is gentle and sweet. You're mine now. I snatched him up.
Yeah, that's awesome. I love
Yeah.
hearing stuff like that. That's awesome. My daughter was diagnosed when she was little. She had been seeing therapists, like physical therapists and stuff, when she was like 2 years old and 3 years old. Um, from birth, basically from birth up to 3 years of age, she had seen therapists because she was in the NICU. But we kind of thought maybe she could be on the spectrum because things had to be done in a certain fashion or she would just have a meltdown. And I'm like, that's okay. That's fine. We just got to do it Willow's way, and there's nothing wrong with that. She would
I'm
line all the crayons up from the point, and they had to be in the same color category. And so I was like, I think maybe we should be talking to like some of her therapists and seeing if maybe she's on the spectrum. And so we just went from there, and she got diagnosed at a pretty young age, which that's good.
I'm so glad these conversations are happening now, because a huge part of this late diagnosis has been grieving the life I could have had if I had known a little bit sooner.
Yeah.
You know, that's been a huge part of this. So I'm really glad these conversations are finally happening so that, people can learn more. Like you recognize, you're like, she's lining up her crayons, so you need to have her check. Yes. Yes. And it's not something to fear.
Mm-mm.
It's not something to be scared of. If I could give it away, I would. Okay, I give away my sound sensitivities. I'm not gonna lie, because those are crippling, literally crippling. Um, but my autism itself, I wouldn't trade it for the world. I think it makes me special, and I think it makes me unique, and I've always felt different. But now I'm part of there's a huge community for us out there now, and it's been good.
Yeah,
It's been really good.
Willow's incredible. Like, I tell people, I'm like, so what? She's on the
Exactly.
program. She's not any different.
Exactly.
Like anything that makes her more amazing and
It-
more
right.
talented.
Right. Right. Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
No.
People just need to talk about it more. It needs to be
Exactly.
more in conversations, and
That's why I'm an open book about it. That's why I'm willing to talk about it. If you want to talk more about it, reach out on my socials. I'm willing to answer any question you might have, especially if you have a little and you have a question.
yeah.
Reach out. Yeah. Because I've studied a lot. I learned a lot, while I was on the ground shooting mushrooms. I was figuring out exactly what autism is. And TikTok is a great resource for it.
Yeah.
It really just has been. It's been great being on there and finding other autistics who can say things in a way that I can't, because now that I'm allowed to be autistic, because I had a girlfriend who works with autistic children tell me that everybody's a little bit autistic. And that's another thing we don't say to autistic people. But I'm sorry, I forgot where I was again.
No, you're fine. You're doing great.
um, but yeah, that's right. Having the official diagnosis has enabled me to settle into myself.
Yeah.
And being allowed to be autistic has almost made me feel more autistic, but not in a bad way. Just in a, hey, I'm finally getting to know myself way.
Yeah.
Like today when I found out about that gear, I had a whole moment where I was like rolling around in the bed and making these noises.
That's great.
My partner asked me, he's like, is there anything that you need or want me to do right now? And I'm like, no, you just have to wait till this is over.
Works.
Yeah. So you know, that's the other thing people need to remember. People don't grow out of autism. As a matter of fact, in women, it tends to get worse.
Hmm.
Um, yeah, especially us undiagnosed women who masked for so long. We made ourselves sick, which is in my theory is that that's what the fibromyalgia is. Because when I got fibromyalgia, it turned the autism up from like a 4 to an 11.
Oh, wow.
You know, and all my autistic traits that were bothersome before became crippling.
Yeah. I know that I had a friend in college who got diagnosed with Asperger's syndrome at the age of like 19. They didn't know that, she had it up until that point. And
Yes,
like, I know after she was diagnosed with it, everything got better for her. Like, she was able to cope with things better. She was able to, live
exactly,
life better.
exactly, exactly. It's for me. It felt like I have permission now to wear my headphones in public.
Yeah.
It's I have the paper to prove I'm allowed to have these headphones on and not look stupid. I know that sounds weird, but it felt like validation, and yeah, it feels really good to get to know this special, weird, quirky me. It's wonderful.
Yeah. And what a lot of people don't understand too is like when you say autism, there's different forms of autism. Like there's
Yes,
different,
because I have ADHD too.
yeah.
So I before, especially before I was medicated for the ADHD, my brain felt like it was battling itself.
Yeah.
It's been a lot to deal with,
I
but
can,
I'm medicated and much better now.
that's good. That's
Yeah.
good. I mean, I think that, I can't speak for you, but in my daughter's circumstance, like her focusing on, she loves music. That's something that she loves to do. She loves
That's beautiful.
she loves
That's beautiful.
music. Sleeping with Sirens, shout out to them. That's like her favorite band, and
Awesome.
it's very therapeutic for her. And
Wonderful.
that's why I say, every person who is on the spectrum and who has been diagnosed with autism has different sensitivities. Like her started
Yes.
out with noise, but that's not so much the case anymore.
Yep.
Like it's like she went from having a sound sensitivity to now she can't stand being outside because she's afraid of bugs, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. We work around it. No big deal.
Yes, that we can deal with. Yeah. And that's really good. I'm very pleased she found a special interest.
Oh,
For the autistic parents out there who feel like you're struggling with your kids and who feel like they're all over the place, just keep trying different stuff, man. Like finding a special interest is essential. It's essential because not only is it something for us to do, but it gets us out of our head for a little while, and it brings us peace. And so if you're struggling with your autistic kid and they keep having meltdowns and you don't know what to do with them, keep trying new things, because eventually they're going to find their special interest, and that's going to calm them right on down.
yes, most definitely. And I know, like, sometimes we just had to let Willow be. Like,
Yes.
he was having a meltdown, you get them to a safe place and you just let them be. You let them
Yes.
have their moment. It,
Yes.
you make sure they're in a safe place, that they can't hurt themselves, and you just let them have their moment.
And a meltdown is not someone acting like a brat or being a Karen. A meltdown is neurological.
Mhm.
It physically feels like you're on fire. and you are no longer in control of yourself. You can't think, you can't reason, your brain doesn't work, everything just stops working. You're not, it is completely out of our control
Yeah.
when we have a meltdown. We're not being brats, we're not being attention seekers. We are simply having a moment, and especially for the grown-ups, we're likely very, very embarrassed and trying to get away from the situation as quickly as possible.
Yeah. Yeah. So like what obstacles do you face, like having that diagnosis as an adult, just recently finding out and getting that diagnosis with like your photography career and, you know?
I honestly feel, again, more understood.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I've shared online about my experiences. I'm sharing freely about my experiences because I want other people to, you know, feel comfortable about it too. Um, it's I have a lot of very supportive friends because I share so much about it. Um, for some reason, it's made them touch me more
Oh no.
when I'm shooting, and I'm not sure why that's happening. But yeah, I have a lot of really supportive, so I'm really lucky because I know that a lot of people in my situation struggle to, I call them friends. They're people I see at shows that I know, right? I have like 3 or 4 friends, and then the rest are people that I know and care about and would do things for, but don't talk too often. But yeah, I have supportive friends, and I'm very open even at the show about it. You know, I've had bands ask me, you know, I've had conversation with bands after the show, you know, ask me questions, and I'm very open about being autistic, and you know, I'm autistic, so I get interesting shots. You know, I'm able to be at the show because I have a camera in my hands.
Yeah.
You know, and I've ended up meeting other autistics that way,
Oh wow.
which has been really good, you know, other in bands and such. People people are very understanding about it. I've even stopped getting weird looks when I'm sitting in my headphones before a show. Yeah, because I'm starting to be. I've done enough shows now where I'm a familiar face, so you know, people just kind of don't even notice anymore. So don't be embarrassed to wear your headphones. Wear your ear protection if you need it. Don't be shy about that stuff. If you need it, you need it. Because I was shy about that for years. I didn't know the word. Misophonia is the word for hearing sensitivity. I
Yeah.
didn't know that word until I was in my 40s.
Oh.
When I was in school, you know, and they would seat the girl behind me and she would be chewing her gum. I could never listen because I was pinching my thighs, but I was way too embarrassed to tell anyone. Clearly autistic. Looking back, all of those things are signs I missed. But you know, it yeah, if I had had the words to speak about it, I could have gotten help a lot sooner. But
Yeah.
I in the 80s, these weren't things that you could or should talk about,
Yeah.
especially in a family like mine. I came from a super conservative household. So, which is why my Tears for Fears gig is such a big deal. Because I used to sneak the radio so my mom didn't know, and you know, Tears for Fears and Foreigner were both bands that were popular at the time. And I would look out across the cornfields and think maybe their bus will break down in front of the house. Because at the time when I was little, I'm thinking, you know, that's the only access I'm going to ever have to these people. If for some reason their bus fell out of the sky. So, you know, if someone had told that little girl, you know, to give it a few decades that she was going to be in the photo pit, she wouldn't have believed them at all. You
Well,
know, it's incredible that I've come this far. I'm
well,
proud of myself, which feels really good.
yeah.
It's okay to be proud of yourself,
Yeah.
ladies. It's okay to be proud of yourself.
Yes.
I encourage the feeling.
Yes.
It doesn't take any pride away from your children or your loved ones. It's okay to be proud of yourself.
Yes. Very much so.
It feels really good.
That's awesome. I'm so happy for you. That's awesome. It's always incredible to hear these stories, and like, as females especially, we need to, empower each other. That's why I
Yes.
created this show to begin with. Not just, female empowerment, but the human experience empowerment, because like
Yes.
we need to lift each other up. We need to help each other out. And
Definitely.
these
And there are a
subjects.
lot of autistic people who can't speak about this or who are nonverbal. And, I'm speaking for them too.
Yeah, which
You
I
know,
really
they,
appreciate.
yeah. I've gone nonverbal a couple of times. I know what it feels like, and I know kind of what's going through their minds when they're feeling nonverbal. Um, and yeah, they deserve a shout out and some attention as well, because sadly, they don't get much attention on any platform simply because they can't speak.
Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Like, what a lot of people don't know about me is I have severe anxiety, and sometimes that can be crippling. And
Yes.
before I even like attend a concert or before I do one of these interviews, I'm so nervous. Like, I get so nervous. Like, my mouth gets dry. I get the sweaty palms, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I hope that I don't mess up. I hope I do justice to the interview. But, in this particular interview, I am not feeling nervous at all. Like,
No,
Tammie,
me neither.
is
I think we're doing great.
conversation. I'm enjoying this thoroughly.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
I think it's just like, a nerve issue. I'm always trying to be a perfectionist, and I know that I can't accomplish that. So I've finally come to terms with, as long as I do the best that I can do, that's all that matters.
Your only competition should be yourself. But
Yeah,
but there's a flip side to that, because you don't be too hard on yourself.
exactly.
Give yourself the same grace you would give someone else. That's give yourself the same grace you would give your child or your
Yeah.
mom or your brother. Let yourself learn, and the greatest teachers are mistakes.
Yes, most
They
definitely.
really are. I mean, you should see the photos from my first show. I, I saw them today because I've been playing in Lightroom,
Oh.
and I was I cringed again. I was so embarrassed. I'm so embarrassed, but I've improved greatly since then.
I've thought about that with like my radio career, because I started off as a radio DJ, and I had done interviews with people like Terry Gross and stuff, and I'm not bragging by any means, but like I'm like, if that Jaime can do an interview with someone like Terry Gross, then why
Right,
should this
right.
me, 20 some odd years later, be so nervous?
There's no logic to anxiety.
No, not at all.
I my pattern recognition would have picked that up by now. There is no logic to it whatsoever.
It just,
Because I've been in places that are completely calm, and everything's great. I'm hanging out with my friends, and suddenly I'm having the biggest panic attack in the world just for no reason.
yeah.
There's no. Sometimes there's a reason for it. Other times there's just no pattern. It just happens for no reason at all.
And I'm one of these people that don't get starstruck, but like for whatever reason, I get nervous when I have to talk. Like if I go to a concert and I just take photos and I'm right up there, up close, I don't get so nervous. But if I have
Yep.
to talk,
Yep.
that's where I get nervous.
Yep. I do all right. Like at the festival we're doing, I'll get to be backstage, and I do all right. You know, the band members accidentally talk to me because I walk away from the crowd to go smoke my cigarettes. You know,
Yeah.
so the band members accidentally talk to me, and for some reason I don't get starstruck kind of anymore either. You know, it's pretty cool to have the access I do. You
Yes.
know, but yeah, I guess I've met enough musicians at this point that I don't really get starstruck anymore.
But that's incredible. That has got to be
Yeah.
an incredible feeling. I know when I did my first like celebrity interview, I was like, "Oh my gosh, this is actually happening." I was so nervous. And then after, the more interviews I did, I'd still get nervous, but I'm like, "Okay, I'm used to this by now. I'm used to this."
Yep. Yep.
The
Yep.
nerves are going to be there, but we can just think of them as excitement instead of nerves, and I can deal with it better.
Yeah. Let me back that up. I do get starstruck, but not when I actually talk to them.
Yeah.
I get excited when I'm photographing them. Like
Yeah.
I'm feeling it when I'm taking their picture, but if we're backstage chatting, like you could be anybody. You know what I mean? That's when I'm not starstruck. But when I'm in the pit and I'm getting to take your photograph, like Trey Anastasio from Fish, I got to shoot him a few
Oh,
months back. And I always wear my N95, even if I'm the only one. I still wear my little N95 mask. And I'm really glad I did at that show because I like because it was one of those three songs thing. So the entire three songs I was going, oh shit, holy shit, holy shit. Because there was like 25,000 people in the crowd, and I'm like in the photo pit, and Trey is right there, and it was just holy shit. And I had the man, holy shit, holy shit, holy shit. You couldn't see it.
I had to say that I had that experience not too long ago because I was at the Billy Idol Kelsey Carter concert, and I'm like,
oh, fun.
When Billy Idol came out on stage, like I heard the introduction, I'm like, it's Billy Idol. Oh my gosh. He's standing right in front of me. It's Billy freaking Idol. It was incredible.
I still get excited. Like, because, I mean, at this point, they're all my friends. You know, most of the bands I shoot at this point, I know really well, especially at this festival coming up this weekend. And so I still feel that too. I get really, 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 really excited when I take the stage. And the one band that's headlining, I've seen close to 100 times.
Wow.
And I still get the same amount of excitement that I used to. You know, just I love what I do that much.
It's an incredible feeling.
Yeah.
It's wonderful.
Yeah.
I love it so much. I'm so happy for you, and I'm so proud of you. Like, that's awesome to have that much passion for, your talent. Like, you are really a talented photographer, and I can see it. I can see the passion in your photos. Like, I've seen some of your mushroom photos.
Oh,
and
thanks.
I've seen your concert photos, and I can see that the passion is there, and that's very, very important.
It is. I love it.
And your talent is to have the passion.
Thank you.
Because if you don't have the passion, then it's just going to be like any other photo. Like you have to see.
Exactly. And I'll finally have the gear to soon. Soon, I hope to have the gear to compete with the big boys.
Yes, that's awesome.
I'm
so happy.
I'm very excited about that.
So
I won't have to feel penis envy in the pit anymore because their lenses are.
There you go.
Their lenses are like this big, and mine. And I'm like, yeah.
One my thing.
Yeah, look away. Look away.
They're going to be incredible.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm getting the shots. I'm
Yes.
getting the shots. I actually, it was hard for me today because I've been gardening.
Oh,
I have found some joy in gardening too.
that's awesome.
My special interest in mushrooms sort of expanded to include plants now.
That's
So
great.
I've been like outside weeding, and it's bringing me great peace, which I kind of needed here at home. And it's been hard for me today not to shoot, because I'm trying to rest up because of the fibromyalgia. I'm trying to rest up before the festival this weekend. So it's been hard for me not to get my camera. I did though. I'm not gonna lie. I took a few photos today.
I don't.
So yeah, I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed.
That's
I
that's kind of how I am with my artwork right now. I gave up painting for a while, and then I got back into it, and
love that.
I'm like, this is so much fun because I'm doing paintings for friends and I'm doing
That's
art
amazing.
walls, and I'm like, I really love this.
That's amazing. My photographs are the first thing I've done because I was a writer for a while, and I liked being a writer here at home, and you just send it out in the world, and you never know who's reading it.
Yeah.
Because I couldn't stand, and but my photographs have been the first artistic thing that I've done that I really wanted everybody to see. That I'm really proud of. I'm like, look at this. I sent my brother my portfolio today. It felt really good.
Oh, that's great. Yeah,
Yeah.
I used to not hang my paintings up in my home, and I was so hard on myself, but I started hanging my paintings up because I'm like, you know what? They're not half bad.
That brings me so. Is that your owls behind you? Did you paint those?
I painted those. They're sculptures, but
Oh, they're gorgeous.
I can turn the
There
camera.
we go. Oh, there we go.
I have a little bit of artwork right there.
Oh, I love the little kitty cat.
Thank you.
That's so cute.
Yeah, I have a little bit of artwork over here.
You should have hung it. I'm so glad you hung it up.
And this,
You're really, really good.
I made the witch's hat completely
Because
from.
it's like as good as my photographs are, I can paint a wall one color, kind of. That's it. I can't paint it all. So
Oh,
it's incredible that's I love your kitty cat. That's so cute. I
oh,
love
thank
it.
you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
It brings me joy, and that's the important part is that your photography brings you joy, and people need to find what brings them joy in life. Life is far too short. There's too much going on in the world that's chaotic. Need to calm it down, and you need
Yes.
to find your thing that brings you
Yes.
joy, whether it's reading a book, writing a book, whatever it is. You need to get in your bubble and find your joy.
Yep. It's out there. It's
Yes.
out there. I promise that it is. It's all you got to do is just keep trying. And I know that can get expensive, especially if you choose photography.
Yeah, photography can be pretty expensive. Painting can be expensive.
Yes. Yeah. Everything's expensive right now. Everything's expensive. But you know what? Again, like you just said, life is short. There's a Wookie Foot song about how you can't take it with you. The A hearse doesn't come with a trailer hitch. That's how the chorus goes. And that's true. You can't take it with you. You
Yeah.
can't take it with you. Find your joy right now because you can't take it with you. Find your joy.
Yes, most definitely. And surround yourself with people who appreciate you for you and other creatives. It's always nice to meet
Yes.
other creatives. Like I have thoroughly enjoyed this conversation with you because
Awesome.
we're kind of in the same realm. I've done
Yeah.
photography, but it's so comforting to find other people who have creative like minds. It's wonderful.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's definitely wonderful. Is there anything else that you would like to mention, like to tell our audience before we wrap up this episode?
I think we covered everything. My closing remarks are this. Even if you know them, if you see a photographer at a show and they're holding up the camera and they're actively taking pictures, don't touch them.
Yes.
Don't touch them. They are working. Like, you wouldn't do that to your cashier. You're not going to do that to the guy who's selling you beer. Don't do it to the person taking the photographs. That's my final word.
Exactly. Respect their space at that moment in time.
Exactly. Exactly.
After they are done doing what they are doing.
Exactly.
And to my audience members, please, please, please check out Tammie's Etsy page. She's an incredible photographer. You will not be disappointed. Purchase, purchase, purchase. Help out your fellow artists.
I'm going to get some more stuff up there, I promise. There's not much up there right now. I just started building it, so be patient with me. But follow along and you'll get alerts when I add stuff.
Yeah, most definitely. And until next time, love.
Thank you so much, Jaime, for having me on. I've had a really good time.
Thank you so much. I've thoroughly enjoyed this interview. I've enjoyed this conversation, and I will definitely keep in touch with you after this show, because you're an incredible, incredible human being, and you are definitely a warrior within. To my audience members, until next time, love, hugs, and blessings.
In my veins, I've been driving this train, years in this lane, there's no stopping this flame, cause I came to the game and I changed it to play how I like, rearranged it to my own domain. Yeah, I got what it takes, made lots of mistakes, taking shots, skipping breaks, feeling lost, feeling great, popping off, singing straight, never stopped, never changed, all the squad here to play, and I've got something to say, yeah. I work hard each and every day, I get lost in the words I say, I don't push pause, no I push play, I won't stop till I make a change, I withdraw on the things I make, I turn flaws into flawless traits, I build tall, never capped in space, I won't stop till I hear him say, oh, oh, la, 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 la.